Alrighty, hello, my friends out there. I am so excited to bring this to you. So today is Sunday, April 5th, and it's a pretty meaningful day around here. Today has been 10 years since my dad died. So my dad died, Charlie Tidd Sr., or I guess Charles Wharton Tidd Jr., and my brother is the third, and my godson is the fourth. So when my godson watches this, hello, godson. Today is the day we celebrate the man that you were named after. So I am my father's daughter, and that is one of the things that I talk about when I talk about my own interior journey, as so many of us do when we talk about our parents and where we came from and how we got here from where we are. And so, what I'm announcing today is I have written a curriculum. I've been thinking about this super hard, and I am presenting to you a curriculum that I have developed over the course of all the work that I've been doing. Some of which I've already shared with you, and I'm going to share it in a much more formalized manner. And it's really kind of the life paradigm that I use and that I do, and I'm going to outline it. I'm going to outline it today. I hope you find it helpful. I'm probably going to be referring back to this post a lot, so it's going to be archived up on the YouTube channel. If you haven't liked the YouTube channel, please go do that. It makes a difference, okay? And what I'm going to be doing, okay, is really expanding on this topic around developing the capabilities. And this is going to be a guide. The next 6 weeks are going to be a guide to creating the life that you want. Okay, so it's Sunday. I've seen just like an epic ton of Facebook posts around how people are really kind of tired. And I get it. I am tired too. I got kids, like literally right now, I got kids in meltdown. Okay. I have kids in meltdown. I have kids who are sad. I have kids who can't handle all of their big feelings. I, as an adult, can't handle all of my big feelings sometimes. And we as parents, same thing. And I'm inviting you to come on a journey with me around developing the capabilities to live the life that you want, to show up as who you are and how you want to be in the universe. And the reason that I'm doing that is because any time is a good time to embark on that journey. But I think like right now, learning how to give ourselves space for who we actually are is one of the kindest things that we can do for ourselves. Modeling that behavior for our children, for our spouses, for our parents can give the world the gift of who we actually are. And who you are is, in fact, a gift. And the general steps, frankly, of developing the capability are to map where you are and understand how your thinking keeps you there. Will we address how you got here? Sure. Okay, but coaching is not therapy. Therapy is generally understanding like where you are right now based on kind of what happened in the past to bring you to where you are. Coaching is much more future focused. It's understanding like where you are now and deciding how you want to be in the future. Okay? And understanding where you are now with presence and acceptance and sufficiency is a beautiful gift that you can give yourself. It doesn't mean you have to start sewing face masks. It doesn't mean you have to scour your garage for N95 masks. It doesn't mean you have to do another blessed thing, really. It just means that you can make the choice to be where you are right now and to drop into your body and feel all of your feelings where you are right now so that you can see who you are right now. And who you are right now is a blessed gift to the world, I promise. And the steps to knowing where you are right now is what we're gonna like lay out over the course of the week, but I want to give you kind of an overview of it. And it does really start with documenting it. You know, we are a species that writes. I don't we're not the only species that, we're clearly not the only species that communicates. Most species communicate. However, written language is one of the things that denotes humanness to human beings and the capability to develop that. I'm trying to think back in my primate days about whether the other great apes have developed any sort of written forms of writing or written forms of communication. And I am not thinking. They definitely use tools, but I don't know that they write to communicate. So it might be based on our species. But I can probably go look that up. All right, but, you know, esoteric anthropology discussions aside, one of the things that I invite you to do is to document your experiences. And I recommend this for a lot of different reasons. One, I've been journaling for like my entire life. For as long as I remember, basically, I've been journaling, and it's been incredibly helpful in my journey as a human being. And the second is that when you write stuff down, you get it out of your brain and look at it on paper. And that's always easier, frankly. Well, sometimes. Actually, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes it gets harder, and then it gets easier. And so I want to add that caveat that sometimes it's hard. This gets worse before it gets better. I tell my clients that all the time. This is all gonna get worse before it gets better. But when it gets better, it gets so much better. Okay, so we're going to document a lot of stuff. And so I do all sorts of ways of documentation. So I have a journal. Okay, I love my journal. But these have refills. They have A5 refills, and A5 refills are on back order. Okay, and so when those A5 refills are done, here's the fancy journal I'm going to go to. A good old Staples, like, I don't know, what is that, a 1-inch binder? Filled with my favorite graph paper. There we go, graph paper. All right, you can take the girl out of school, but you really can't take the school out of girl. All right, so what we're gonna start with is documentation and seeing the and looking at reality. We document to find out reality, right? Documentary filmmakers. Like, what if you put on a hat if I am the documentary filmmaker of my life? And we're going to start looking at where we are denying and resisting reality. Okay? And all of that is predicated on understanding and wanting to know where you are. Okay? And that can be a really hard thing right now. Like, I'm not going to lie. I got a kid right now that Andrew is dealing with. And he's in rock brain. And one of the reasons he gets into rock brain is that he has a very hard time, he's 10, dealing with the feelings that he has right now. Presence and acceptance and sufficiency is not something the 10-year-old Set naturally knows. It's not something any of us actually know. And that's one of the things that we are going to be going through over the course of the next 6 weeks. And there's a continual choice that you're going to get to make. And the choice is to see your life as it is right now. And that's a choice that you can make. You know, a lot of us spent a lot of time when we were kids, I don't know if running away is the right word, but learning how to deny the reality of the emotional intensity of our existence. Because it was a survival mechanism, okay, and it was just something our brains learned how to do. It's something our brains are great at telling stories, and so we told stories to ourselves as kids about how good things were going to be when X, Y, or Z happened, okay, and when we start documenting where we are right now, what I want you to do is put away the thoughts of the future perfect tense, as I call it, okay? Putting away this is what's going to happen in the future, okay? Because right now, I think a lot of that future perfect tense, that future thinking, is creating a lot of stress in our own lives, okay? There are things that we can be doing right now to flatten the curve, to keep each other safe, to keep ourselves safe and emotionally healthy, no matter what we are doing, okay? And future thinking about what is going to happen in the future is always at best, future thinking is at best driving us away from our present reality. Okay? At worst, it makes all of our anxieties worse. It induces panic and catastrophic thinking, which is not where you want to be right now. Okay? And I urge you, like that sort of catastrophic thinking can be useful. Like worst case scenarios, that is a tool that in a lot of like cognitive behavioral therapy, it's a tool that coaches use, but we use it within a specific context where we're directing and understanding the thoughts. But first we understand all of those thoughts that come from worst case scenario thinking are things we're creating in our own mind. And I don't think everybody around like watching this is quite there yet. So I don't want to engage in that sort of thinking because it takes us out of presence and acceptance and sufficiency. Because I ask you, my friend, when was the last time you constructed a future perfect tense where you were sufficient? Like I spent most of my life doing that, and I was never, I was never truly sufficient. I was magical and glowing and, like long hair and white robes and unicorns and daisies and things like that. Right, but the sufficiency to the reality. I mean, like there were no problems, but I never thought about being sufficient to the reality that I was actually in, or even being present to the reality that I was actually in. Okay, and so when we start documenting the world as it is right now, it's a way of understanding how we look at who we are right now and how we're showing up. And that's all we need to do. That's really, truly all that we need to do. Okay? And what I'm going to urge you to do is write down the nouns. Write down the nouns, okay? Because it is your nouns that are your current reality. Right? And so the nouns of my life today are and I'm going to go through these because we're going to have like a daily op tempo that we do this in, okay? And we're going to be working on nouns for this whole week. All right, where are we? I introduced a lot of this stuff last week, and we're working this very first stuff. All we're working is the nouns of where we are, okay? And we're going to start with. On Mondays, we're going to do weight and food because I know that's a concern with so many of us, okay? On Tuesdays, we're going to be doing things like booze and the ways we take ourselves out of reality. I'm going to introduce a concept called buffering, all right? On Wednesdays, we're going to do work. On Thursdays, we're going to do incoming money. On Fridays, we're going to do outgoing money. And on Saturdays, we're going to do all the different kinds of relationships we have outside of our relationship with ourselves. So all of this, the sum total of all of these 6 topics defines our relationship with ourself. Okay, somewhere you are having a conversation about one of those things in all of your conversations with yourself, and that defines your relationship with yourself, okay? And then we are going to, in the first week of this work, define and document reality. And we're going to make the choice to tell ourselves the truth of our life right now. And this is going to commence what I refer to as the worthiness journey, okay? If you have spent your whole entire life thinking you are unworthy, you are not going to wake up tomorrow morning and decide you are worthy. Okay, you're going to hear this a lot. All right. Worthiness is a journey. Now, could you decide tomorrow that you are worthy? 100%. Okay. If the thought, I am worthy, is a believable thought to you, believe it with your whole heart. I am all behind you. If you need to borrow somebody's ability to believe in you, borrow my belief in your worthiness. Okay, I believe that you are worthy because I believe that I am worthy. Everybody, no matter who they are, is 100% worthy. Okay, and so this week we're really going to commence that worthiness journey, and we are going to start developing the capability to see ourselves as worthy in the present situation, okay, worthy in the past and worthy in the future. You were worthy, you are worthy, and you will be worthy because your worthiness is innate. Okay, and when we can establish that as a basis for moving forward to develop the life that we want to develop, the capabilities that we are looking for to creating the life that we want, it all starts from worthiness. Okay, so that's what we're going to have a conversation about in week 1. In week 2, we are going to work on understanding how to have what we have, call it the capacity to have, and how our feelings got us here. So in week 1, we're going to talk about all the nouns of our life, right? And those nouns, they're going to create thoughts, all right? And in week 2, we're going to talk about the feelings that we have, and we're going to dive into feelings, all right? Now, when I talk about feelings, people are like, oh my God, I'm going to have to start hugging people. All right, one, we're in a global pandemic of a aerosolized transmissible disease. Please do not start hugging people who you haven't hitherto hugged. Okay, this is not feelings touchy-feely. This is feelings like, I'm angry right now, and just recognizing that. So in essence, week 2 is also a documentation week. In week 1, we documented our nouns, and in week 2, we're going to tell ourselves the truth about our feelings. Because I have news for you, my friends. You have feelings. Okay? Whether you recognize your feelings or not does not actually obviate whether or not you have the feelings, okay? And all of your feelings got you where you are right now because feelings create actions. We have this like thought, feel, act cycle where we think something, we feel something, and then we act on it, and it lands us where we are right now, okay? So that's week 2, all right? So week 1 is documenting where we are with the nouns of our life. Week 2 is documenting where we are with the feelings as we have created them. All right, in week 3, we are going to talk about how to want what we want and coming from a clean space around that. So hopefully, what will happen, because this is how it works, is in weeks 1 and 2, we're going to understand our reality, okay? And then we're going to start understanding how to want what we want, okay? Now, some of what we want are going to be things that we already have, and that is the capacity to have, and some of the things that we want are going to be things that we don't actually have right now, okay? And we're gonna learn how to approach ourselves from a space of what we call holding space for ourselves, and understanding how we talk to ourselves, the self-hostility journey that some of us go on, and how we talk to ourselves in the context of should and shoulding all over our life. All right, so that's all of week 3, and talking about all the shoulds of our lives and documenting how we tell ourselves what we're supposed to be doing versus wanting what we want from a clean space, from a space of developing it from our future, okay, is a lot of what we're going to talk about in that week, okay? Then in week 4, we're going to talk about how to decide to make a change and declare our results, okay? So in a month, we will have gone from maybe being a person who doesn't even understand where you are right now to being a person who can say, this is what I want and I am committing to it. All right, and it doesn't mean you have to go and grow your business in the middle of a global pandemic. It doesn't mean you have to, be the world's best homeschooler. It doesn't, like any of the 19 different things that it can mean to survive and thrive in a pandemic. It doesn't have to mean any of those. All we are talking about is being the person the universe is calling you to be and feeling good about that, because I guarantee you that's what the universe is calling you to do. All right. So then in week 5, we are going to start. So this is kind of like, so week 4 starts the second half of the curriculum. The first half of the curriculum is all about figuring out who we are, all right, and figuring out what this person right now wants. And then the second half of the curriculum is all about deciding to make that change, all right, and creating that change in our life. And in week 5, we are going to deal with discomfort and understand all of that discomfort that comes from implementing change in our lives. Okay? And then in week 6, we are going to wrap up with the after action process. And we are going to talk about how we do an after action process. This is a process I actually do every single solitary day, and I do it on most different things. Like I did it on these lives for a really long time. I don't do them anymore because I've sort of gotten rhythm down in the lives. But I'm going to do it after this live, this live, right? And the after action process that sets us up for iterative change. Okay. Over in the food side of the world that I work on, we talk about continuous process improvement, okay? And lots of different places talk about continuous process improvement. And continuous process improvement has gotten a pretty bad rap, mostly because it's promulgated by people who don't actually seem to practice continuous process improvement, but instead tell other people they're supposed to practice continuous process improvement. But the 6-week outline of what I did actually is the process of continuous process improvement. Like I could and do take all of my clients through this sort of journey. All right, now we don't talk about weight, though I do teach stop overeating for foodies. We don't teach it from a life coaching perspective, but from a business coaching perspective, and those 6 different assets that I talk about, okay? And all of this is derived from the work that I've done with thousands of people and teaching thousands of people all about this information, right? And what I want to create the possibility for is for you to have a meaningful conversation with yourself, okay? Because I know it's really hard right now to have a meaningful conversation with yourself. But the truth of the matter is, it's only as hard as you make it, okay? And I'm not saying you got to go out and grow your business and woohoo, all of that good sort of stuff. I'm really not. So what I am saying is that you have a choice right now, okay? And you can use this current circumstance, whatever it is, to hide from who you are or to really be who you are, okay? And you can understand who you are from a place of loving kindness and self-worthiness, or a place of I am not enough. And I'm inviting you into the conversation to do this from a place of I am enough. I am worthy. I am full of loving kindness for myself. I am full of loving kindness for others. And I understand that I'm going to feel negative about half the time. I understand I'm going to feel positive about half the time. And that's just the journey that we are on. And it's a worthy journey to be on, right? It's exciting to be on that interior journey, no matter what's going on in your life. And so over the course of the coming 6 weeks, I invite you to come on this journey with me. I'm so glad that you are here and deciding to come along. You are beautiful, you are worthy, and the impact that who you are in the universe is going to have on you and the family that surrounds you, whether it's your birth family or your chosen family or your work family, whatever, however you define those relationships. We are truly going to radically transform them in the next 6 weeks. So I invite you to come on this journey. I am so happy that you are here. DM me if you've got any questions. Share this journey with others if you have any questions. It's just going to be here on the page. I love you all. I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday. And you have a great week. And I will see you at 12:30 tomorrow on the page. Alrighty. And we are going to get to work. Bring a pen and something to write on. All right. I love you all. Have a great day. Bye bye.